Dear followers and viewers, welcome back to the new tutorial and training lessons on the Ameen software for accounting and warehouses. In this video today we will talk about how to add company materials and how to classify them into groups that serve company reports. Therefore, before starting to add items, you must create a vision for the company's materials to add them to the categories and groups that will help us request reports easily. We will go to the Materials menu and then the Chart of Materials. Or it can be open it from the icons at the bottom of the program menus. After opening the Chart of Materials, you will notice two columns where material groups and classifications will be added from within the first column. As for the second column, the items belonging to the group that will be selected will appear. To add a group, we will go to the Items menu, then the Group card. The Group card window will appear. First, you have to add a code for each group. You have to choose the code carefully. And then a name for this group. For example, I am adding groups for a foodstuffs company. Write the group name and the Latin name. Of course, you can write the Arabic name of the group. In the Main Group box, choose the main group for this group. Since this group is a main group, leave it empty and then click the Add button. Notice after refreshing the Chart of Material that this group appears in the first column. Other groups can also be added in the same way. As mentioned, choose the code for the group carefully. After writing the group name in Arabic and the group name in English. Since this group is a subgroup of a main group, the main group will be chosen. You can search for it by the group code or name, or you can use the search icon to search for it. Again, click the Add button to save this group. You can also add a subgroup in another way, by opening the chart materials and searching for the group from which you want to add a subgroup, then right-clicking on the group and choose Add Subgroup. You will notice that the group code and the main group have been filled in automatically. Just type the Arabic group name and the Latin group name and click Add to save. I will now add some other subgroups. We should also know that other subgroups can be added from one of the subgroups of the main group in the same ways that we explained. Always note that when adding the first subgroup you must add the group code yourself to give sequence to the groups. Notice how easy it is to deal with Ameen Accounting and Warehouse program. This way you can add groups and categories of materials easily and smoothly. After we have added the groups and classified them in a way that is useful for the nature of the work, we come to the other important step, which is adding the materials within these groups. To add a material card, we must click on the Material menu and then Material Card. The Material Card window will appear, and from this card we will fill in the details of this material. You should know that no material can be added without three mandatory fields: the material code, the material name, and the group to which this material belongs. Other fields are optional but may be useful and necessary at times. We will now add an item to the juices group, for example. We will write the name of the material in Arabic and then the name of the material in English. We will search for the group to which this material belongs using the group code, its name, or the available search icon. Note that you can sort in the search window by group code or name. Write the item code carefully for the first time, as you can use the group code followed by a specific sequence to facilitate the coding process in new items. These are the mandatory fields where we can now add the material, but we will learn about the additional fields available in the card before saving. There are some fields in the General tab such as size, source, manufacturer, color and model that you can fill in to use later in reports. By clicking on the Units tab, a window will appear through which we can define the units of this material and its barcodes, which may vary from one material to another depending on the packaging method of the material. For example, in this material we will use the unit of the PCs in the Unit 1. Don't forget to write the barcode of this unit, and it is better to use a barcode reader. Also, as an example, use the box in Unit 2. The conversion factor is the number of pieces in the box. Also, do not forget to write the barcode of this unit as well to facilitate searching for it later. A third unit can also be added to the material. You should know that the conversion factor here refers to the first unit. For example, in this example, you should write the number of pieces in the carton, not the number of boxes in the carton. Notice on the right of this tab the material limits, which can be used as alerts for this material when reaching specific quantities such as the maximum, reorder point or minimum limit. As for the current quantity, it will appear automatically later to indicate the available quantity. By clicking on the Prices tab, a window will appear through which we can define specific prices for this item. The consumer, retail, wholesale or export price of each unit of this item. As for the last purchase price, it will also appear automatically later after registering the purchase invoices for this item. Click on the Options tab to display other options that can be activated or not, depending on the nature of each material. First, the nature of the material, as it is possible to choose a service in the service materials. The expiration date option can be activated for materials that we want to monitor before they expire. It is also possible to force the entry of the expiration date upon the entries and exits of the material. The category option can also be activated, as it can also be used in the fields of medicine and others. The serial number option can also be activated in cases where each piece has a serial number that differs from the serial number of other pieces of the same material. For example, electronic devices. Select the option. Quantity in the invoices is integer, in case of materials that cannot tolerate an integer number. You can attach an image of the material from the Browse button in the Material picture. Go to the Equivalent tab. You can choose alternatives for this item. You can benefit from these alternatives. For example, pharmacies or auto parts stores. This is to search for alternatives to this material in case it is not available in the store. In the Dimensions and Weights tab, you can specify the dimensions and weights of each unit of this material, such as the dimensions and weights of the piece or the dimensions and weights of the box. After filling in this information and reviewing it from the General tab to the Units tab and the Prices tab, click on the Add button to save. After refreshing the chart of materials, you will notice that this material appears in the selected group. Materials can also be added in another way, by opening the chart of materials. Then search for the group to which you want to add an item. Right-click on it and choose New Material. Notice now that the material code has been filled in automatically because the code sequence was previously selected and the group has also been filled in automatically. All we have to do is fill in the other fields as we learned before. Note now that in the Units tab you can choose from the units that were previously written in the material. I will now add some materials to the groups. It should be noted that in the price fields, Calculations can be performed within these fields. I hope you enjoy watching it, and if you like the video, share it with your friends so that everyone can benefit.